The former Secretary-General of the Arab League, Amr Moussa, has given an exclusive interview to Euronews on a visit to our new bureau in Brussels. He spoke about the Libyan crisis, the situation in Syria and his presidential ambitions in Egypt.
Secretary-General, welcome. With the European Union immersed in economic crises in countries like Greece, do you believe it's capable of giving proper sustainable economic support to the Arab countries undergoing change?
The European Union will not be the only one to give aid. There's the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund. There are also the governments of the industrialized nations. And there's Arabic capital too. So the European Union could play its part in that assistance.
بما أن أوروبا ستكون جزءا من كل هذا، أوروبا تستطيع أن تتحمل بهذا النصيب.
سعادة الأمين العام، تفاجأ الغرب بالثورات العربية. وردة الفعل الأوروبية لم تكن متوازية.
Europe was caught by surprise with the Arab Spring revolutions, and its reactions have lost its credibility because of what it didn't do in Tunisia, what it failed to understand in Egypt, and what it is doing in Libya. Can the EU be relied on, and how?
لبلدان جنوب البحر المتوسط الاعتماد على الاتحاد الأوروبي وبماذا؟
احنا في العالم العربي يجب أن نعتمد على
The Arab countries must stand on their own feet first and foremost. The Arab revolutions were neither directed nor inspired. Rather, they emanated from a reality which drove the birth of these revolutions, which many of us had seen coming since the situations were being aggravated and were not acceptable anymore. Right up to the explosions which surprised the West, who seemed to rely on the stability of authoritarian regimes based on repression. In our countries, we sensed the instability of these regimes. We sensed the arrival of revolution. Whereas the West didn't expect it, and is currently going through a phase of self-criticism about the length of time it took them to understand the reality and to react with help.
وهناك نقد ذاتي في أوروبا أن أوروبا كانت بطيئة في فهم التطورات ثم في مواكبة التطورات ثم في مساعدة التطورات.
What's your view of the military intervention in Libya, and do you believe the West will intervene wherever there is a revolution in an Arab country?
I'm not sure that's going to happen. And I think that recourse to military force will not deliver answers in the dangerous situation in that country. But a ceasefire is itself an important step towards calming tensions and saving human lives. And it opens the door on a new Libya. But will it bring universal agreement? Is there a possibility of an Arab intervention? All that's under discussion.
The Arab League stepped in directly in Libya, but not in other revolutions. Why was that?
لماذا لم تتدخل في باقي الثورات؟
الجامعة العربية مش قرارها مش قرار الأمين العام.
Arab League policy is not decided by the Secretary-General, but by the countries in the League. On Libya, there was a clear vote from 22 Arab countries. On Syria, Arab nations shared the role with the Secretary-General, but the decision depends on the vote.
سعادة الأمين العام عمرو موسى، هل ما زال لديكم الطموح بالترشح؟
Mr. Moussa, do you still intend to stand in the election for Egyptian president? And do you already have a definitive view of the future of Egypt, like General de Gaulle had for the future of France?
For some time now, I've formed my vision for the future of Egypt, and that's why I'm standing in the election. Because I reckon I could serve Egypt better than the other candidates.
If you're elected, what is the future of peace with Israel?
The future of peace and Arab-Israeli relations is clear and is based on the decisions taken at the Beirut summit of 2002. As for relations between Egypt and Israel, they're governed by a bilateral treaty which must be respected on each side for it to remain effective.
ما يتعلق بالعلاقة المصرية الإسرائيلية المباشرة هناك المعاهدة الثنائية اللي يجب أن تحترم من الطرفين كي تستمر وتعيش.
If you're elected, would you commit to not seeking a second term?
Certainly, just one term. I promise that again, and you are my witness.
شكرا معالي الأستاذ عمرو موسى الأمين العام لجامعة الدول العربية.
شكرا. متشكر جدا.
أنا بشكرك كثير.